Geek Tank Radio on 98.1 The Max.
Welcome, everyone. We are the Geek Patrol, and our microphones don't have a stun setting. I'm Joe Thorderson here with my friends Brandon Olmstead and our buddy Max over there behind the glass. And Brandon, I mean, how are we going to get to all these trailers? The box office may be back.
It really might be. I mean, it's been a weird couple of months.
Yeah.
It's almost like the world's not on fire, or maybe because the world is on fire, everybody wants to go to the movies.
Yeah, we need escapes now.
I mean, things like Project Hail Mary and the Super Mario Galaxy movie have been like just raking in the money. The worst yet highest grossing Scream movie of all time dropped back in February.
Scream
7.
They're still making.
Literally, they're still making this, and this
Okay.
one, despite a lot of controversy that and a lot of people boycotting it, is still the highest grossing Scream movie of all of them.
Okay. Well, and if we don't get to all of them, we'll carry it over. But before we get to that,
because it's true, we do have time before these movies come out to talk about these trailers.
There's breaking news though that's way
and I
more
didn't
pressing.
do it.
Okay.
It was probably Lynn Neal.
Yeah, Lynn Neal.
It might. Based
he knows
on
how to drive.
He does, but based on the way that these look, they're right up his alley.
Okay, so what?
Okay.
Honestly, I didn't know about this because
Right.
whatever. I'm more out of touch than you
I'm
are,
chronically online, so of course,
Yeah.
I've seen all the responses and all the jokes and everything that's come about it, and I figured, you know what, we need to hit on this because it's the kind of thing geeks could be into, and that's the theft of nearly 12 tons of Kit Kat bars.
The Kit Kat caper.
It's like, Max, I don't want to hear that from you, Max, until you have a child of your own.
That's
a
fair.
dad joke.
Okay, hang on. Because
But you're right.
This is very specific. They were shipping. They had a truckload of Kit Kats, which I'm assuming is refrigerated. That would be a mess if it wasn't.
That's true.
From Italy to Poland. I didn't know what part of Italy this was coming out of, and what part where we got. Where it disappeared.
They're saying Central Italy, which
Rome.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of Rome's pretty much in the middle, right?
Right, right. And of course, these were not your average Kit Kat bars. These were special Formula One Kit Kat bars. So they're shaped like race cars.
Okay, sorry. I'm not. I don't want to bog this down, Brandon. But okay. I've eaten Kit Kats.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't eat a lot of candy bars, but I always like Kit Kats. How do you do the layers if it's shaped? Because it looks like a Formula One car. It looks like it would be very fragile, or the layers wouldn't line up right.
Well, see, Kit Kat has done some. They've done some random, shapes over the years. They've done for Easter. They've done bunnies. They've done snowmen for Christmas, and they just basically they do the layers the way you would normally do them. Just they do them kind of solid.
Yeah.
And then they die cut them out. I mean, just like you would with shaping any cookie.
Okay.
And then they coat them in the same wonderful chocolate that Kit Kat is always dipped in, and then you etch the shape or the design into it so that you've got like the windows and the steering wheel and everything else you need for the car. Or then again, it could be a mold because we haven't seen them because they all got stolen.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering about.
Now, the thing is this only exclusive to this region and everything? Like, if you were a Kit Kat aficionado and wanted to make a pilgrimage in order to acquire these, could you only get them from this location?
That's a very good question, Max. I'm looking at the packaging, and the fact that it has 29 grams on the bottom of it makes me think it is probably a European exclusive. But then again, this just may be the packaging that we're seeing that was the mock-up to begin with. I don't know if it's going to make it to the States or not. Well, it's obviously not going to, or it could make it to the States now. Depends on which mob guys stole it.
That's what I'm wondering. I mean, let's just be honest.
I'm just thinking about the idea of, like, when I think of black market, I usually think of products that are much more insidious.
Yeah.
It's kind of odd for me to think of, like, a Kit Kat black market, like, going on and everything. But I guess there's a black market for everything.
There really is.
But Brandon, have you calculated how many Kit Kat bars are at stake here?
I didn't have
12 tons.
I didn't have to because the wonderful people at Nestle did it for me.
Okay.
There is 413,793 candy bars that were stolen after leaving its production site. It was headed to Poland.
So somewhere an entire truck. See, this is what I can't figure out because Italy. I mean, the shape of Italy. It's kind of like a peninsula.
Yeah.
It seems like you could be able to locate a truck.
Right.
Although I don't know, man.
Well, I
like I
mean,
said, if the crime,
look, I live in a small neighborhood here in Memphis, the Berkeley area, and I can lose GPS tracking going through my neighborhood playing Pokemon.
Okay.
So if they've got to go through a mountainous area or something else on their way to Poland, because we don't know exactly where along its transit it got ganked.
How is this not?
And the whole thing's gone.
This has to be a documentary. Once they crack the case, but
there'll be a Dateline 2-hour episode. There'll be a mini series on Netflix or Amazon. Somebody's going to do a dramatization that's probably going to have Tom Hardy and Chris Evans. Somehow it's going to become it's going to be factored into the next Fast and Furious movie.
There you go.
Because I'm just thinking, this is literally taking candy from a baby.
Yeah. Well, no,
it's taking wrestling from taking Kit Kats from a Formula One fan is exactly the same thing. Because I've seen some Formula One fans, and they can get downright ornery about, when things don't go their way.
Okay, but here's the thing. How do you sell these? You can't, these are as obvious. It'd be so easy to track these.
We'll say that to the person who thought they could get away with stealing the Mona Lisa and selling it.
These are on a cargo ship right now heading to some country that doesn't care about all this. What I was going to say
is that there's a lot of people, though, Max, that they, at least when they steal priceless works of art, they make a copy and they replace it. It's not like all of a sudden a bunch of Kit Kats are going to show up in Poland.
I'm not trying to sound kind of discriminatory here, but what is it about Italy with regards to stealing things that are kind of blatantly obvious? Because we have the caper of the Mona Lisa, which was from an Italian, and now we have the Kit Kat yanking, and that's also from Italian. And so
it's got to be bragging rights.
The great thing about this, though, is that Nestle has actually launched a tracker. So you can, I guess, scan your barcode to tell whether or not your Kit Kat was a stolen Kit Kat.
Well, how about if it's shaped like a car?
Which means that these Formula Ones are going to they're still enough to hit the market.
I can't wait for the Kit Kat bounty hunter.
You're listening to Geek Tank Radio on 98.1 The Max. Even a pair of vibranium diapers couldn't hold back the produced on this show. The Geek Patrol is back.
I guess what happens if you eat too many Kit Kats, Brandon?
You
may need the vibranium diapers.
I've never gotten to that point. So usually, if I've had too much chocolate, it's coming up the other direction.
Okay.
The regurgitation happens beforehand.
And welcome back to Geek Tank Radio, everybody.
Hey, you asked.
I'm Joe Thorderson here with my friend Brandon Olmstead and our buddy Max over there behind the glass. And if you're just tuning in, and if you haven't heard the breaking news, I don't know how, I guess it's a couple days old. But,
give me a break.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even think of that. Okay.
And that is why people love you, Joe, is because you are accidentally funny.
A refrigerated semi-truck full of 12 tons of Kit Kat bars, all shaped like Formula One race cars, was stolen en route from central Italy to Poland.
Right.
Which I want more details about where exactly. Like, did it disappear in the Alps? Is it in some, tunnel that they carved out during World War II? Is it in, where it is? I know where it is. It's in Switzerland. Switzerland, Max, you know this. Switzerland is like a tunnel. It's like Swiss cheese under that country.
And not only that, too, but the Swiss tunnel system is actually made to self-destruct if need be in order to bury the people in.
Well, that's nice. So but anyway, Matt, Brandon, you know more about food. I just had a couple of quick questions. So if these Kit Kat bars get stolen, for one thing, it's very obvious when you buy one because it's shaped like a Formula One race car. But I guess I'm wondering, how much could you charge for these? Because people are going to want to get on the dark web and start buying these up, right?
Well, true. They'll, but I would say that you shouldn't spend more than $20 a bar if you're buying it for collectibles.
Well, that was my second question. How do you collect? okay, I'm thinking of that Seinfeld episode where
well, the fact that you're thinking of a Seinfeld episode just made you too old to be on this show.
Where he was collecting that piece of cake from Queen Elizabeth from like 70 years ago or whatever. But how do you preserve a Kit Kat bar? Like if you wanted this to be in your
you put it in the
collection.
freezer.
Or is it like Roman concrete where it's self-preserving? Like the
all right. You're not going to build houses out of Kit Kats, Max.
Okay.
I don't think. I'd have to consort with my evil mentor on that one, and he's not around anymore. But I'm looking at the map right now.
Yeah.
From Florence, Italy, which is central Italy, to Poland, and unfortunately, Max, Joe, the highway path does not pass through Switzerland.
Okay.
But it does pass through, Czechia, Slovakia, Vienna.
But they could still. Okay.
Dude. About midway is in Vienna. Vienna's known for coffee and chocolate.
Yeah, but I happen to know something about this region because we've done deep dives on them, and during the war, and just actually throughout history, this was a very coveted. It was almost like a thoroughfare for ancient people. So there's all sorts of tunnel systems and hiding spots.
I get that. I'm just telling you where the trade route where your box trucks are going to go.
Okay.
I'm following that right now. And I mean, it could have happened anywhere. I mean, they passed through Bologna, which was literally, like 20 miles away.
Okay. All right. Well, we need to.
But it's a 17-hour and 30-minute trek, not counting where the actual facilities are. So somewhere in the midst of that 17-hour trek, when it left on March 29th, it disappeared.
All right. Well, we need to follow this.
It's gonna be aliens.
Story. Yeah.
I'm just waiting for the security camera in there. Like all of a sudden, if you got a problem if all of a sudden you hear on the security camera in the vehicle just oompa loompa. Loompa.
You think the Oompa Loompas could be behind this? So, all right.
I mean, they
well,
could
there's
be.
going to be more news about this, surely.
But
whoever did this.
I mean, it very well. I mean, it very well could be found on the side of a mountain having rolled down tomorrow.
All right.
But right now,
no, there's going to be somebody to go to this much trouble. It reminds me of that that theft that happened about 20 years ago where they stole a truckload of beef rectums. Do you remember that one?
Nobody remembers that, Joe. Because most
the
of
puns
us
were flying
most
everywhere.
Of us
just
have.
Like this, so.
Well, and see, that's one of the things that gets everybody's attention about this.
Okay.
Nobody saw the report from Kit Kat saying, "Hey, 12 tons of Kit Kats disappeared." What we saw were things like Domino's. Our hearts go out to our brethren with Kit Kat and Nestle. On an unrelated note, we will be selling chocolate pizza. And, there's so many where they have the different companies are having a blast with this. I mean, because like McAfee, virus protection for your computers said, it's like, no one should ever have to, worry about this kind of theft. And that's why we never take a break from protecting our clients.
A break, but
right.
Yeah.
It's like everybody's having fun with it. Ryanair, one of the worst airlines in existence, literally put an AI picture of a plane eating Kit Kats.
Well, I already solved the problem. You just okay, we solved the case here, folks. This is a marketing campaign. Somewhere, Kit Kat's going to benefit from this. I mean, come on.
There's
look at the.
There's going to be a big Formula One race, and they're just going to be there all of a sudden.
Yeah, somebody's going to save the day. They're going to roll up with this truckload of Kit Kat, or they're going to, some anonymous person is going to. I think this is
it's the same guy behind the the creepy clown phenomena of 2016.
Exactly. So okay,
that's coming up on a 10-year anniversary.
Yeah. Well, we solved the problem. So all right. Well, Brandon, let's let's at least tee this up. We've got some pretty good trailers.
We got some awesome trailers coming up, and I think the first one we're going to have to hit on is Spider-Man. But then there's Supergirl and Masters of the Universe. There's
careful because we
got so much.
I don't know if we can get to all of them.
We probably won't.
And
they don't give us enough time to talk about cool things, Joe.
We're going to get to Daredevil Born Again, but let's wait till we've seen a few more episodes.
I think we need to hit at least episode 6.
I think Daredevil really knows how to, let's just say, take a break.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Gosh, he's pretty good at breaking things. But also, we'll hit Trigun once Brandon finally watches.
Yeah, I'm 2 episodes behind. They have hit me with way too much content in the past few weeks.
Okay. All right. But so that's what it is. Yeah. So we've got some trailers coming up. If we don't get to all of them, because there's a lot, then we'll carry it over to next week. But we're going to get to that when we come back here on Geek Tank Radio.
You're listening to Geek Tank Radio on 98.1 The Max. The Geek Patrol is back.
And it's not out of the question that you might have a very minor case of serious brain damage.
And welcome back to Geek Tank Radio, everybody. Gosh,
having a hard time swallowing that Kit Kat, Joe?
I'm Joe Thorderson here with my buddy Brandon Olmstead and our pal Max over there behind the glass. And if you're just tuning in, yes, we solved the issue of we solved the crime of the 12 tons of Kit Kats being stolen out of a semi truck in Italy. We already know it's a marketing publicity
keep saying
campaign.
Stolen out of the truck. The truck got stolen.
Yeah, the whole truck. That's right. And so we know it's going to show up somewhere at the key moment. And this is going to be, they're getting all the publicity in the world. Yeah. So we've solved that. So let's move along. But Brandon, there's a ton of trailers, and actually, the box office may be back this summer.
It's amazing when you think about how well the box office has done this year, especially when you consider how bad it was last year.
Like, yeah, I mean, we had record. We had
wasn't
Sinners
like the only movie to make any money last year?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a lot. I mean, and plus, I think ever since COVID, we've been playing catch up. So
here's my question: why are people getting excited about the very movie genre that they were tired of in the first place? And that's superheroes, because it's like right now we've seen an oversaturation of superhero content. What is it about now that we're suddenly like, okay, things might be a little bit better? We don't really feel as bogged down anymore.
I got a theory, but go ahead.
I think it's the fact that, we didn't really have a whole lot last year that was new. Superman last year kind of knocked it out of the park as far as being a different kind of superhero movie. It was positive. It was bright. It was, it was hopeful. Yeah. Even at its darkest moments, it was hopeful. And I think it kind of helped galvanize things again. And of course, now with things like the trailers for Avengers Doomsday that have been they got trickled out, and the stuff with indie films coming back and kind of going up yours Hollywood kind of situation, because Iron Lung did so well, and there was another horror movie early in the year that did really well, and now we've got Project Hail Mary, which kind of was also a big middle finger towards Hollywood, because Hollywood said this movie will never do anything, and the guys made it anyway. And it's Ryan Gosling and a rock.
Yeah.
And it's based on a book.
Another Andy Weir book that did really well.
Right. And it's like people.
He made The Martian, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a great movie.
And people have been going ape about this movie, and it had, until a week ago, it had the #1 box office debut at 31 million. Across Thursday night previews and Friday debut, and it got beaten the Wednesday before Easter. It got beaten by the Super Mario Galaxy movie, which hit with no previews the night before. On opening day, hit 33 million, and we haven't seen a domestic debut like that in a while.
Yeah,
and I think that people have kind of last year, the first year after an election, people always get a little. What's going to happen? And we saw everything across the board take a hit. I mean, we run a convention. We got nailed.
Yeah.
I'm just transparent.
Five events
events across, and a handful of new events, and nobody did. I mean, it was decent for a lot of people, but nobody made money.
Yeah.
But this year, I think people are kind of coming down to that whole. It's like, all right, the world is on fire. We need our escapes. We're just gonna do it. And so people are getting more excited about the box office. People are getting more excited about the theater. With the way Timothée Chalamet got torn apart for his comments about ballet and opera, people are obviously excited about ballet and opera again, too, because when you get basically railed into cancellation because you said you didn't think that someone should be trying to say ballet and opera.
Yeah.
Then you know that people want the arts. They're craving something new. They're craving something creative, even if it's an old thing in a new skin.
Right.
And I think that's why right now things like Supergirl and Spider-Man and Masters of the Universe and all this they're just making us happy.
I know you guys wanted to talk about Spider-Man first and everything, but I honestly, in terms of the things that I really like that I saw from the trailers that I saw, the one that really spoke to me more was probably the Supergirl trailer, because what I liked about it is it was somebody that was just, I mean, I know she isn't human, but for lack of a better term, somebody who has like just a depth of humanity to them, but at the same time, they just so happen to have powers and everything. And so I like seeing somebody who has humanity who just so happens to have these supernatural abilities.
You're absolutely right, Max, because you can see that she's traumatized.
Right.
You know, unlike Clark, who was a baby when he was jettisoned from Krypton, she was a teenage girl. She's staring her dad in the face as she is launched away. She's watching him get decimated as the shield fails.
Well, folks, if you're not as familiar with Supergirl, you think she's just some cutesy teenage character. She's got way more depth, and her story's way more gripping than actually Clark's.
And despite being younger,
she was old enough to understand what was going on
despite
Krypton.
being younger on Earth, because of her getting trapped in she got trapped in the negative zone on her way, right? So she didn't get here in time.
Yeah.
She did, she's way more mature mentally and emotionally, and she's trying to escape that.
Yeah.
And the only thing that she truly loves in this world is crypto.
Well, and Max, I think you're hitting on something too, because and we'll touch on this when we talk about the Spider-Man trailer. But to me, what made the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or what makes like the Batman or movies like that, is you got strong character development. Like, these are characters you actually care about, and they're exploring their humanity, even though they're exploring her Kryptonianism or something.
They have vulnerabilities, and they're not like completely like fully realized and everything, like indomitable and everything. Because that's the thing about older superhero films. It's like, okay, we get it. This person's really powerful, and I can't relate to them.
Yeah, these are very relatable characters. So
genuinely, I think that, and honestly, Max, you had asked why we were getting galvanized for movies that just a year or so ago. It's like, oh God, not another one of these. And actually, that might be what hits on it, is when you've got these movies where the characters, even with her having near omnipotent powers when she's on Earth, she still has, and yes, the word is humanity, no matter what the species of alien is, because, it's there.
But also, we're going to talk about these trailers when we come back here on Geek Tank Radio.
You're listening to Geek Tank Radio on 98.1 The Max. The Geek Patrol is back.
Honestly, I hate working here. They are so weird.
And welcome back to Geek Tank Radio, everybody. I'm Joe Thorderson, here with my buddy Brandon Olmstead and our pal Max over there behind the glass. And if you're just tuning in, it's been we've been talking about a stolen truckload of Kit Kat bars. Well, 12 tons of Kit Kat bars. We're going to definitely follow up on that story, because there's intrigue and fun involved in that story. Also, there's been a lot of trailers dropping, and I mean, I guess we're probably going to just scratch the surface today, but Max, before the break, you were talking about how you were interested in the Supergirl trailer, which I think the last trailer that came out, I don't know if it did much for you. So we're going to talk about that, and then also the Spider-Man trailer. But you know what? Both of these give me hope. And Brandon, what I was noticing about these is when you watch both of these trailers, what you hear a lot from the characters about you're hearing a lot about their basically, I don't know, their emotional experiences, which is kind of what we want. I mean, we don't want a whole movie of that, but it was a good balance of, it's not easy being Supergirl or Spider-Man. And then, so you saw, I thought it gave me a lot of hope that these could be some good movies.
Well,
man,
I mean, again, we saw what the main, inspiration for Supergirl joining this young girl on her quest. And spoiler alert, guys, Krypto gets shot with a alien weapon